Hello and welcome. My name is Michaela, and I am somebody who was born female and transitioned to masculinize myself and then let go of that transition. I always like to explain at the beginning of my videos just a brief understanding of who I am so that you can understand where my perspective is coming from. And today is going to be a continuation of my last video that was about how to know when someone is a trans man, meaning somebody who was born female and is transitioning to male. This video is the opposite. It's how to know when somebody was born male and is transitioning to female. And I do want to make it clear that I did not go through that. I was not born male, and I did not transition female. So I'm not going to know it as well as somebody who has gone through that specific experience. But I have known people personally who have gone through it, and so I do have some understanding. Now, the first thing I want to say is that testosterone is what makes your voice drop, right? So there are individuals who are transitioning before they hit puberty. Those individuals are not going to have a voice drop. They're also not going to be able to have kids in the future because of not going through puberty. But there is this association with anyone who has a deep voice must be male, and that's not true at all. I mean, I am living proof that you can be female and have a deep voice, right? There are some female individuals out there who have high testosterone levels for all kinds of reasons, and these individuals will get a deep voice without having male genitalia. So, does a deep voice determine whether somebody is a trans woman or not? No. It's not a sure way to tell, and it's not really a reliable way to tell either. It might indicate that they could be. It's possible. So on to another thing that people often associate is the bone structure. There are very clear differences between a male and a female bone structure, and nothing is really going to change that. There are individuals who are born male who will have a more feminized bone structure compared to other males, but that really is kind of a thing that isn't going to change, especially for individuals who have gone through male puberty. If you are wondering if somebody is a trans woman and they have a very broad body, they could also just be female and be very broad. You know, it's not a for sure way to tell either. If they're more muscular, maybe they just work out a lot. A lot of what I'm trying to say in this video is that really there's not for sure ways to tell. I know there's videos out there of people saying, well, if they have an Adam's apple, then they're probably trans. If they have a deep voice, then they're probably trans. If they don't have breasts, then they're probably trans, which all of these things are possible things to insinuate that that person may potentially be transgender. But estrogen, synthesized estrogen, can make males develop breasts, meaning they develop literal breasts. And if somebody has breasts or doesn't have breasts, that's not an indicator as to what their genitalia is. Like, a big part of what I'm getting at here is that sex isn't male, female. It's not black and white. It's not that clear. There is a lot of in between, right? Your primary sex characteristics might be female. Your secondary sex characteristics might be male, right? For me, I am female but I do not have my breasts anymore, and my voice is deep. But at the end of the day, I'm still female in every other way. And there are some people who are born like that naturally. Some people have a third chromosome. Like, there's people with XXY chromosome. There's all kinds of variations in what a human can be. And just because somebody doesn't fit your generic standard of what a man and a woman is, does not mean that they are transgender. Now, how do you spot a trans woman then? If you can't tell by whether or not they have boobs, if you can't tell by their voice, if you can't tell by how broad their bone structure is, how do you tell? Really, the only way to truly know is to talk to that person. The only way you're really going to truly find these things out is to get close and intimate with that person. Like, you're not going to just know right off the bat. And I will tell you personally, I've had people be absolutely sure that I'm a man. And I've had people be absolutely sure that I'm a woman. I've had both people come into my life like that, with that attitude, no matter how I'm presenting. Because they associate one thing as being a certain sex, and therefore you must be that sex. And it's a very small-minded view of the world. That's a big part of what I'm getting at in this video, is that we have no idea what other people are going through. We have no understanding of what they're going through. And we don't really need to identify if somebody is transgender or if somebody is a trans man. They're going through their own journey, right? And that's not my problem. That's not your problem. If there is a literal man in the women's restroom, full-on beard, wearing masculine clothing, calling himself a trans woman, yeah, maybe that person should be kicked out of the bathroom. You know? I think that sometimes people take these things to the extreme, where they have a problem with one crazy person and then they assume everyone else on the planet that they relate that crazy person to in any way must be crazy themselves. At the end of the day, I don't agree with medical transitioning, and I'm not going to go up and try to identify and see if this person is transgender and if this person was born with male anatomy but they look female. Like, to me, that's crazy. That's a waste of your time to do that. I think what we genuinely need to do is understand how much we don't understand. I'm not some all-knowing God. I'm just on here sharing my experience, my real, true, authentic, first-hand experience as transitioning and no longer transitioning. Because I want to share my view, and I want people to have a better understanding of each other. And a lot of times I get comments saying, well, my side experiences less pain. And again, you're just picking a side if that's what you're saying in my comments. You're just saying that you're a victim. You're calling yourself a victim, and you're making yourself more of a victim, right? You're constantly living in victim mentality, and you don't have to. Now, I know I'm getting very off tangent in this video, but this is my chaotic personality, and if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to like my personality or the way I make my videos. I do this for me. I do this because this is what I want to do. This is what I feel called to do. And I do this for the people who appreciate it, who want to hear my personal first-hand perspective. And again, if you're trying to figure out how to spot a trans woman, I think maybe you're wasting your time. Maybe you could just focus on loving yourself instead. I don't know. That sounds like a pretty good idea to me. So, my overall message in this video is we don't need to be so focused on what other people are doing and changing other people and making sure they follow our view of what society should be. And I get how my videos can kind of seem like that, like I'm doing that sometimes. But my whole view of it is that we need to let people be. We need to let people experience what they're experiencing. And if you have a loved one and you think that what they're doing to themselves is harmful and not right, you can have a talk with them, express yourself, express your concern, but at the end of the day, it is their choice. It is their decision to make. And I'm never gonna try and take away someone's rights to do what they feel like they want to do, even if I don't agree with it. And if you are a transgender woman watching this, well, I guess you can leave a comment and tell me how many people see you as male or female. Because I'm genuinely curious to know. I don't know as much about individuals who have transitioned from male to female, because I've personally not gone through that. Anyways, this video is a bunch of tangents, but I hope that whoever watches this gets something out of it, and let me know what you would like me to make a video on in the comments. If you have an idea of a video that you would like me to make, if you have something you want me to talk about, you want to hear my opinion on, please let me know. And if it's something I feel passionate about, I would love to make a video on it. Well, hopefully I will be back again soon. Thank you for watching this. Have a wonderful day.